Very good. And the justification is very okay. My worry is if you say except under circumstances determined by the House. Now you are limiting this. It means the House has to first debate and make a decision on whether to have the matter broadcast or not. And yet the Speaker is not just the custodian of the rules, but is also in charge of the House at any one given time. I would rather we remove except under circumstances determined by the House, and we leave it to the decision of the Speaker. I beg to submit.
Okay.
Honourable Speaker, firstly, I want to disagree with the learned Deputy Attorney General. The Speaker is part of the House, and the Speaker leads the House. So decisions which are determinations made by the Speaker in their chair are made together in unison with the House. So I think it doesn't curtail anything in any way. By the way, when you look at most of the rules requiring that, they indicate the Speaker and the House, because we are jointly dealing with these matters. But the other issue, Honourable Speaker, I want to disagree again with the committee's proposal there. The lower one is okay because technology co-advancements have happened and so on. But here they are saying may, and yet the rule as it is today is saying shall. Let me wait for the Speaker's attention. Right Honourable Chair, I was saying it would be good to leave the provision of shall as is, the way it is in the rules. The bit about catering for other platforms due to technological advancements, I think that's okay. After all, anyway, we are saying there are circumstances where the Speaker and the House could determine otherwise, but the bit of shall is good because it shows that we are open to scrutiny by the public. If we say may, Honourable Chair, if we say may, we might be misconstrued to appear as if there are things we want to hide from the public, and yet there is none, ideally. So once it remains as shall, there is the other rider of there could be circumstances where the Speaker together with the House think otherwise. So I think we should maintain shall with that.
Eje.
Right, Honourable Speaker, there is no reason as to why we need to be so stiff and strict. As opposed to my colleague's assertion, the LOP, I think may would give us leeway to assess the circumstances as and when to broadcast. But I wish to reiterate my earlier position. My earlier position is that the proposed amendment, we should remove the requirement for the House to make a decision or a determination on whether or not to broadcast. Because at any one given time, we are on opposite sides and we will not agree. If there is a matter that we think one side thinks should not be broadcast and the other thinks should be broadcast, and you cannot agree to that, what happens? So I would rather we leave this to the behest of the Speaker to determine based on any given circumstances. I beg to submit.
Chair, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable.
I think we are a democratic society.
Yeah. Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Kivumbi.
Right Honourable Speaker. This is a fundamental right. Access to information. And in the wisdom of the framers of the law, have provided the Speaker with powers and circumstances otherwise. So for us, because when you read the law, at the extreme end, the Speaker is being given a leeway to determine. So where you are, and now when you use may, you are like giving double powers. So in our humble view, I'm not a lawyer, but in my humble view, the word shall enforces a fundamental right. And then the exception powers are given to the Speaker otherwise and the House. So in my humble view, the word shall is very important in enforcing a fundamental right of access to information, and I don't find it in any way why this should be contentious. I hear him to say...
So you're saying, Haji, the proceedings of the House shall be available for the broadcast on radio and televisions during the hours of sitting, except as directed by the Speaker. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Would hear that the statements of the leader of opposition be expunged. Reason being, you know, the leader of the opposition was trying to paint a picture that the institution of parliament was trying to propose, because you never mentioned exactly who went to the committee. And when the chairman was given a chance, he said there is nobody who went to the committee proposing that rule. I move that his statement be expunged as it was moved by the Deputy Attorney General.
Right, Speaker. The Honorable Kabanda has presented a wonderful point. However, one, the leader of opposition, Honorable Ssenyonyi, what he presented is based on what he had, and the chairperson of the committee came, yes, but he explained it. And when he explained, we've now all discussed the issue of live feed. So if you expunge his statement, then you'll have to expunge the good contribution of the Right Honorable Speaker on the live feed and the Honorable Ekanya about the live feed, which is public. Therefore, in my opinion, I think it was in good faith, and there is no one who wants to lock out the public.
Honorable members,
Mr. Secretary
Honorable members, I think Honorable Lob mentioned that, and it was explained, and we all understood where it was coming from, and it was his own thinking, and it was explained, and he has then changed his thinking. So let's proceed. Next item.
Rule 234.
Thank you very much, Chair.
People who may be targeted in this kind of situation, and if the people responsible for accreditation fail to accredit me, where do I go next? So we must provide a mechanism within this process that if I've been denied the opportunity to be here, then I should be able to express my dissatisfaction. The matter is considered either by the House, then a decision is made.
It can't be the House.
That way, we will appear to be fair.
We have a department of CPA. CPA is the one that does accreditation. They have an appeal process, and that is where it stops. Now, the House does not come in this circumstance.
Chair, I agree with you, but CPA cannot be the people accrediting. And when you are aggrieved with their decision,
they are
you
the
go
ones
to
in
them.
charge of communication in the institution and public affairs.
I think that does not protect public interest.
Now, you want, Honorable Guzuli, you want to do micromanagement of departments. Because what the rules we are making are for the House.
Yeah, right, Honorable. Firstly, I agree that I don't think every such little thing, well, not little actually, but not every one of those things needs to come to the House. But we can provide a mechanism, because you could meet some media practitioner who will say, I was denied accreditation because X, Y, Z does not like me. They may be right, they may be wrong. However, where is the recourse for that person, assuming they're right? Because they could be wrong. Yeah, they could be being thrown out of this place because of whether it be certain indiscipline or whatever. But they could also be right that they are being hounded. What's the recourse for them? Maybe, and I don't like to burden the speaker with too many powers, but there must be some appeal. Do they run to you? Do they run to the
No.
parliamentary commission?
There is a,
Where do those few cases
there
run
is
to?
there is a principal what? Information officer, Mr. Bokua. He's the one who does the appeals. He's the
As an individual?
no, a committee. He heads a committee. Take time and check it out yourself.
Yeah, what I'm trying to bring in, right, Honorable?
Be a committee of the house.
I also agree it should not be a committee of the House. I don't agree also. It might not necessarily be with that. But I'm trying to see how, especially the level of accrediting, I don't think that should be a committee of the House.
No.
But at the level of appeal, we need to see how maybe much more senior leadership of the House does come in. For somebody to say, I am being persecuted
Now that would be
by these
administrative.
officers. Whether this person is right or not, where do they run to?
Okay, now that can be administrative. We can agree on where that can be. We can have a committee of top administration that can handle
I think
that.
Chair needs to
Mm.
help us why they brought that amendment in the rules. If it was an administrative issue,
Yes.
why is it part of our rules?
Right, Honorable, I'm sorry if I appear to be diverting, but my concern is elsewhere. On sub-rule 1, the first rule you want to introduce says members of the public and of accredited press. Now, while you have referred to CPA as a committee that may be available for accrediting the press, what happens to a member of the public who wants to come, sit in the gallery, and observe proceedings?
Sergeant at arms is one of
So
it.
do we introduce a desk out there so that anyone can come from Room Street and say, I want to observe parliamentary proceedings, and that person is accredited to go up?
Honorable Doug, the members who come from out are checked by Sergeant at arms. They register them, give them tags, and they tell them the do's and the don'ts when they are there. That's the work of Sergeant at arms. But also, if you're talking about the press, which is not accredited in Parliament, is that allowed for press which is not accredited to be there?
You see, if you want to cover proceedings of any institution, official, you must be accredited by that institution.
For regulation.
All institutions. So even Parliament, pressmen should be accredited. They are given cards. They are known, including media houses. It happens in all government institutions, whether they are courts of law and so on. And then it also helps because you see, a press gallery is specifically for the press, not for the public. It should be distinct. How do you access that? You must prove that actually you are a pressman.
Honorable members, it is for our own safety. I remember one time when somebody was massaging Honorable Bumali.
Right, Honorable Chair.
Yes.
Chair, I have an issue with the whole of this section 1. If the press is accredited to cover Parliament, you are accredited. Do you need all this may be admitted to debates in the House under the rules that the Speaker? If you accredit a press person and you have then do you need any other? Because you have been accredited to cover Parliament, you are press. Then do you need this provision?
Honorable, there are proceedings that are closed. One like appointments committee, it is closed. So that's why you may be admitted into it. And in most cases,
I don't. Right on, but before, let me get a clarification from you, the chair. For where they are closed session, like the appointments committee, the rules speak so. Where you have a closed session of parliament, the rules speak so. And you don't need to. Now, this provision here, we are all, after accrediting press, then you have accredited me to do what? To cover parliament. Where you don't need the press, like the appointments committee or a closed session, there are provisions that speak to that. So what's the essence of bringing it here?
That's what I was calling for.
And I'm already accredited.
Right, Honorable Chair.
maybe you needed
The rule
to maybe you
that
needed to
provides for
specify.
accreditation is exactly this one.
Maybe you needed to specify, because the other rule had already talked about the press. Now this one should be to the members of the public.
Yes, public press.
Under our rules, we don't have any rule which provides for accreditation. Please. So, one, we are providing officially under the rules for the accreditation. And say members of the press, members of the public and the accredited press may be admitted to in the house. This is what admits them.
But they're already accredited, so why are you saying may? If they are accredited,
Madam Chair, I think we are going to create a problem here. I remember when we had just come to the 9th Parliament, and my closest friends I know here is Honorable Minister Musasisi, the other friend of mine from Fort Portal. We came here when the press was not allowed in the plenary. You remember that? And when we amended the rules, we say this is so backward. World over, the press is given room to cover plenary. The moment you put this, it's going to be discretional on the powers that may be, which will block and stop.
Honorable
the press to be here.
Ssewungu.
So I think let us maintain that, because
Honorable
already, Madam Chair,
look
already
at,
my
the
driver
old
is
rules and the new ones. The only difference is accredited. Yes, that's the only difference.
I have, Right Honorable Speaker. Once you have accredited press and say these following are accredited to cover parliament and they are accredited, they don't need another vetting to come and cover the proceedings of the House. They already accredited to cover parliament. Where parliament felt that they don't need the press.
And
they
it is not
create-
vetting, it is the admission allowing them
Yes,
to enter.
I'm already
in.
accredited, Right Honorable Speaker. I'm already accredited.
Now, Honorable, if the gallery is full, and even if you are accredited, how will you go to the gallery when it is full? It is they are talking about admission. You will be admitted to go and sit in the gallery once you are accredited. But if the gallery is full, then we can do it in phases. Then let this one first come in, and then the other. I don't see any.
Madam Speaker, can I give my opinion? Thank you.
So,
Madam Speaker, this draws two things. I think let honorable members get it. Admission of the public.
yes.
Now that's one.
Yes.
And
The press.
the press.
yes, they are
One is admission of two different entities. What the public does in the gallery is different from what the press ordinarily does. However, it might be hard to draw a line what both do due to citizenship journalism. Because I can come in the name of admitted into maybe a committee meeting as an individual, and I pick up.
Just a minute. Members that come to the gallery.
No. I'm talking of the committees because some are admitted even to the committees. And this is what I was raising with
To
the
the
chair.
committees.
You remember when you're talking about broadcast, you talked of two entities, the House and the committees. And then you said, shall except with the authority of the Speaker. Now, whether the Speaker also interferes with the work of the committees on broadcast. We shall talk about it. It was just something that we didn't see at that level, House and committee. But we can say committee and houses. Then for committees, we refer to chairpersons. Because if you look at his amendment and the amendment of Honorable Mwanga Kivumbi, we talked about both the House and committees. But now, going back to this, is we have what we call citizen journalism. Someone walks into the precincts of Parliament and starts holding a camera and conducts their citizenship journalism and says, I've seen the speaker here walking around. And you might fail to draw a line between one accredited and one who is not accredited. Now, the issue of accreditation, don't worry. The issue of accreditation is where it arrives that who do you hold culpable? Someone accredited goes through induction and they know when they can be admitted and not admitted to certain areas. For example, the House gallery is full and the media tribune or the gallery is also full. And they say, you know what, you can share this and this. This is for radio broadcast, this is for social media and electronic media, and this is for etc. So that is on admission at different occasions when the House is sitting. So for me, I don't think there is a very big problem that in the matter of accreditation versus admission. Whereas
So
not
you're in
every
support of the
person
committee.
accredited can be admitted on certain occasions, but everyone accredited can access Parliament at
So
all
you're in
times.
support of the committee.
Yes.
Yes. Love.
Honourable Speaker,
The rules.
firstly, I want to commend the committee because one of the proposals was that was brought before them was to say the media should be locked out in this sense. All they can do as journalists is to come with a piece of paper and a pen and sit in the gallery, and then there will be one camera belonging to Parliament which shall feed them. Because the problem with that is whenever maybe Parliament wants to edit out something, it will
Honorable
be
Law, who
edited. But
said
that was
that?
rejected.
Who said that?
The chairman is here of the committee. He will elucidate on the proposal that was before the committee, which they rejected.
No, that is
That was the-
hearsay. That
No,
is
it's not
hearsay.
hearsay, right, Honorable Speaker. The chairman is here. He can bear me witness. That was the proposal. And it's okay for anyone to bring a proposal. What I'm saying, I'm actually crediting the committee for of all those different proposals they received. That one was rejected. It was actually before the committee. The
By
chairman
who?
is here. Anyhow, the point is, right, Honorable Speaker,
Chairman, can you
while
first clear that?
we
Chairman, can you clear that? Because
Right, Honorable
it's
Speaker,
not-
he's going to come and clarify the proposal that was brought before the committee regarding press. That's okay. The chairman is here. But let me finish with this. Right, Honorable Speaker, as much as we possibly can, we should avoid creating a perception that we are trying to keep the media away from Parliament. What we have to do here in Parliament is to behave. Of course, there are members who are massaging each other and so on. Just behave when you're here. Know that you are in the eye of the public, so that we don't try and gag the media and make it seem like we are trying to, keep Parliament away from the public. Right, Honorable Speaker, and that brings us to the question of the may and shall that we are debating about.
Before we go to the may and shall,
Mm.
as leadership of Parliament, we have never made a suggestion that we don't want the press here. If we didn't want it, we would tell them not to be here. We've never said that, and we are very, very comfortable and happy when the press is covering our proceedings. We are very happy. So that perception is not there.
They were locked.
We've never received as a committee a proposal to lock out the press. We never. What was, and we detailed it within the report. There was some suggestion that we provide a link, like what goes in another parliament. Then the link supplies to the press. Not that anybody was interested to lock out the press and he brought that view to the committee. No, that is not true.
Yes, Doug.
Right, Honorable, I was just finishing. He was clarifying.
Madam
Then the
Chair.
Doug could.
Madam Chair, with all due respect, Lope, I want to request that that particular comment be expunged from the record.
Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, my understanding and the perception of the public out there is when you say there will be a link and we shall supply you, you're saying you cannot have your own link. When these journalists are up there, they do have their own linkages to different pages, they have different media houses. So that proposal to say we shall have a link and supply you, that's locking them out. You may not lock the doors, but you are locking them out technologically, and that's really what I was saying. And I'm glad that the committee, I want to repeat this, I'm glad that the committee said no to that proposal. Why are you
Who
saying?
gave the proposal?
But he has just shared, he has just told us here. Honorable Speaker, we are belaboring too much. The chairman of the committee has elucidated about that live feed.
Madam
And I am glad.
Can you first listen to Alex?
Yeah, you know, I belong to technology, smart technology. When you are talking about a link, a live link, you've not locked out anybody. Because in this modern world, we appreciate the use of technology. The smart technology makes you access the entire globe. So when the parliament is trying to go modern, in the local context, you might think that they want to lock out the press, but in the standard measures of the global knowledge gaps, this is a normal practice of accessing information. So the issue of a link, I need to defend it. It should not be used to say that Parliament wants to lock out the press.
I need
Honorable
to
members.
elaborate on that misinformation.
Honorable
to wrap up.
members.
Members giving on matters of technology. Because
Honorable
I'm a highly
members.
technical person on matters of IT, and you are informing the country the link cannot actually lock other people out.
I have never heard of that thing of locking out the press out of Parliament. And on the issue of the link, like when the president is addressing the nation, it is basically UBC that is there, and the UBC feeds other channels. And if we want, actually, one of these days, I'm happy you've talked about it. We need to decongest that place there, where people think they should go and address the press. What? We have a room. We have a room where all the press people should go. If you want to go and do legislation on media, you go to that room and address from there. I am happy you have talked it to yourself. I'm also going to decongest outside there. I am going to decongest. Yes. So whether it is in the rules or not, we shall do it.
Honorable Speaker, let me wrap up this way. Firstly, of course, there's many administrative actions that can be taken. But Honorable Speaker, I want to...
But remember, we are supposed to have a TV, radio here. And we have a studio here.
That's okay. I don't know what happened. I had not joined Parliament when that
we have a
suggestion
studio
came.
down there. From there.
Honorable Speaker, as I wrap up, I want to suggest that let's not gag members and the press too much, because now you might say, even in your office, you can't do an interview. In the corridors, you know, I think it's okay for members to be able to move freely. But again, I'm glad that that particular proposal was not allowed by the committee. But Honorable Speaker, I think when we say shall, we are setting a general principle that as Parliament, we are open to the public, we are open to scrutiny. The other administrative details can be worked out. I know that Parliament accredits about 200 journalists. Now, you cannot have all the 200 journalists in the press gallery. That's what now gets to be worked about administratively?
Law, Rule 23, sittings of the House to the public. Subject to this rule, the sittings of the House or of its committees shall be public. And I'm repeating, shall.
Thank you, Right Honorable. And that's the rule I quoted when I was complaining the time the media was chased away from up there when we were dealing with the coffee bill. I quoted it when we returned here.
We had
And it's
was
on the
suspended.
When we came back to the House. You remember, Right Honorable? But let's not go back. Right Honorable, you keep taking me behind, and yet we have kind of moved.
No, we enjoy you talking. We enjoy you.
No, I want to sit down. I want to finish and then I sit. So let me finish this way. Right Honorable Speaker, as much as we possibly can, let's not paint that image of we are trying to keep the media away. So now that we have it in Rule 23, what's wrong with replicating the same in 233? Administratively, we can deal with those issues. 200 pressmen cannot be in that gallery. There are too many. All right? Those can be dealt with administratively. Thank you.
Honorable Lob, the rules are not read in isolation.
Madam Chair, I want to thank you. Madam Chair, regarding the link, when it comes to FIFA World Cup, they give a link and people pay for it. And therefore, Madam Chair, it is very important that we research how we can give a link beyond the district. But regarding the TV and the radio, Madam Chair, in the 9th Parliament, I was assigned by this Parliament. I moved around the world. I went to Korea, I went to UK, and UNDP approved the funding for those equipments. The equipment were brought here. Madam Chair, I have a whole information that I can give you so that we have our TV and radio like in Parliament of Malawi, Parliament of South Africa, and so forth.
No, the equipments were donated to UBC. I put a question that Rule 223 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay? The ayes have it.
Rule 234.